Blitz package, knee-jerk reactions after week 4 high school football here in the Tampa Bay area. Preston Jackson, Big County Preps. We're going to get right into it. We got 10 games that we want to hit on. First, starting at Hillsborough High School, where the Terriers rain on King 39-0. I'm going to tell you, Hillsborough not traditionally a wing T team or a double wing team. However, forced their personnel, they've gone to the wing T, and they actually look pretty good doing it. I'm going to tell you one thing. Those teams who are on schedule for Hillsborough, you better prepare for all the talent they have in the skill positions because they have a bevy of it, and they utilize the personnel very well. Attacking style defense, Coach Earl Garcia III really gets his guys in position to try and make plays. That secondary has 7 interceptions on this season. Coaches update that max prep so everybody can see how well your kids are doing. Offensively, they got a young sophomore quarterback who started to make plays. They spread the ball around. Some good running backs who are very productive. But the Hillsborough Terriers smacked on King last night. King, they're hurting right now. Only 24 players dressed out. Not the talent that they're used to having over from the Fishbowl. King has a few years with a new coaching staff. They're going to have a few years to put everything back together again. And usually when you get a new coach, you usually burn some things down and you build it back up. That could be the case right now with King, as they're limited to personnel. Let's keep moving. Our game of the week, Eastlake versus St. Petersburg, 17-7. Eastlake last year suffered a massive defeat. It was 46-30, and it was actually worse than that before Eastlake actually came back and started putting some points up on the board. But a well-played game. Eastlake thus far has only given up 61 points. They've scored 77, so they needed that big win over St. Petersburg. Now, in that district, you still got a lot of games to play because that district is going to definitely be competitive. Eastlake is undefeated right now in that district, so is Countryside. Pinellas Park has not played a district game. Seminoles on 1 and St. Pete is on 1, so a lot of football to play in this stiff district. That Eastlake Pinellas Park game is going to be one we look forward to, and definitely St. Pete Pinellas Park is going to be one to look forward to. I think the dark horse right now is that Countryside team, who not a lot of people know about, but is sitting at 2-1 right now with 103 points scored, 87 points scored against them. So a lot of football to play in that 7A-10 district over in Pinellas County. Let's keep moving on. Tampa Bay Tech, who arguably could be the best team in Hillsborough County. And we say arguably because the guys that are going to argue against that will be Plant and another team, Arnwood. We look at Tampa Bay Tech. They won last night 48-6 over Bloomingdale. So that's 3 convincing wins. 25-20 to start the season off against Jefferson. 53-0 against Wharton. 48-6 against Bloomingdale. Right now, the Titans have only allowed 26 points, and they scored 126 overall. So Tampa Bay Tech doing big things now. They'll host Strawberry Crest the 23rd. They'll host Plant City on the 30th. Then they travel to Arnwood. So Strawberry Crest suffered a big loss against Plant City, so we're going to go ahead and say we expect Tampa Bay Tech to beat Strawberry Crest. But then Tech's going to have to host Plant City, which is going to be a good game. How good is Plant City? That is the question mark. Now, they definitely will see Arnwood. Arnwood always has Tampa Bay Tech's number. They pounded them in the spring. So on the 7th of October, Arnwood, Tampa Bay Tech could determine who is the best team in Hillsborough County. That's going to be a good one, and I don't necessarily think that history is going to be a factor. There you go. Let's keep moving. Winter Haven, Osceola. We expect Winter Haven to be one of the best, if not the best team in Polk County. They ran up against a juggernaut in Osceola, 56-47. A late surge at the end to make it a respectable loss. Winter Haven, big wins against Auburndale and Ridge Community. Osceola is a state championship caliber program every year. 56 points they allow. That's not good enough for a team that expects to be in the state championship as Winter Haven is. 56-47 loss for Winter Haven. Now, we expect them to beat Lake Region as they have coming up on the 23rd. Then a big game against Kathleen. So that district with Winter Haven in it is going to definitely be one where you want to start fast and you need to end even better. Lakeland, Bartow, Winter Haven, Kathleen. Lakeland's 3-1. Bartow 2-1. Winter Haven 2-1. Kathleen 2-2. Nobody's played a district game just yet. So right now, just off the hoof, Winter Haven and Lakeland, top 2 teams in that district. We know Lakeland they got hammered against Carroll City last week, but they came out with a big win against Fort Lauderdale. Now, Wesley Chapel, who are they? 3-0 right now with the coaching chain. Anthony Egan, the new head coach over at Wesley Chapel, has his cats rolling. Okay, Land O'Lakes a 13-3 win. Pasco 34-21 win. Just beat Ridgewood 42-22 win. Now we do say, okay, well, Land O'Lakes hasn't been as good as they have been in the past. Doesn't matter, still a win. Pasco hasn't been as good as they've been in the past. Doesn't matter, still a win. Ridgewood is how he's been around an average team. Big win, 42 points. Just take a look at it. They scored 89 points on the season, 46 allowed. They're playing good ball. We expect them to beat Gulf, who's sitting winless. Then they go to 5A. That's going to be a nice little matchup. 5A does some good things. Sitting 0-3 right now. So Wesley Chapel entering the Hudson game. Hudson undefeated, could be 5-0. Hudson versus Wesley Chapel. Circle that one on your calendar. Big win for Wesley Chapel. Let's go over Plant City now. Remember, we said, what Plant City team will we see? They're 2-1 right now. Only loss comes to Arnwood, 36-16. And remember that first half, they were really going toe-to-toe with Arnwood. So take away the Arnwood loss, they're undefeated. Arnwood 36-16 loss. Brandon 41-7 big win. They tacked on 50 points against Strawberry Crest, only allowed 5. They got East Bay coming up. East Bay just suffered their first loss to Durant. So it's going to be a good test coming up for Plant City. They run into East Bay. Then they have to travel to Tech. Bloomingdale will definitely put up a fight. Then they have Durant. So their next 4-game stretch, the end of September, start of October stretch, is going to tell what type of Plant City team that we are going to have. That district is definitely one to watch. Year in and year out, the East Bay district, the 7-8-9 as we'll call it this year, with this with this combination of teams: Durant, Plant City, Tampa Bay Tech, East Bay, Bloomingdale, Strawberry Crest, Leonard. Right now in the district, Durant sits 1-0. So does Plant City. So does Tampa Bay Tech. East Bay, Bloomingdale, Strawberry Crest, Leonard, all winless. Top teams in addition. Now, right now, look at this. In that district, Durant 3-1, Plant City 2-1, Tampa Bay Tech 3-0, East Bay 3-1. Those are the top teams right now in that district, with Bloomingdale sitting right in the middle at 2-2. So a very, very competitive 7-8-9 district. And we really want to see what Plant City team is going to arrive. They're going to be in the locker room. They're going to be jacked up. But to be objective, call a spade a spade. The district is about to get tough for Plant City. We're going to see which team that we're going to get. Excited about the Raiders. Mitchell. Springstead hammers Mitchell 33-7. Mitchell would like to be considered the top team in Pasco County, defeating Sun Lake, who has been the top team for the last 5 or 6 years in Pasco County. Last year, Mitchell outright took the crown. Moving into this year, a lot of question marks around a lot of teams in Pasco County. We thought the most steady team and consistent team would be Sun Lake, followed up by Mitchell. Okay? Sun Lake, with a loss to Zephyr Hills, comes back and convincingly beats Wiregrass. Mitchell defeats River Ridge, defeats Ridgewood, and then gets hammered by Hernando County Springstead 33-7. So what we're saying is, if Mitchell is to be considered the best team in their county, they need to defeat the better teams outside of their county. When they play the better competition, if they're going to lose to Springstead, it can't be a 33-7 loss. Okay? They have Pasco coming up. They'll host Pasco. Then they'll host Pinellas County, Dunedin. Then they'll travel to Wiregrass. And then it's Sun Lake. Circle that on your calendar on the 21st of October. So the next 4 games, Mitchell has got to win at least 3 out of 4. That Wiregrass Ranch and Sun Lake game, both are going to be really good tests for the Mustangs. That district that they're sitting in, they're 0-1 right now in the district. Don't fret, they got a lot of district games to play. It's no reason for Mustang fans to get all worried. Right now, Springstead sits 1-0, Mitchell 0-1. Land O'Lakes hasn't played a district game, neither has Pasco or Sun Lake. All right, and Mitchell still is 2-1 overall. A lot can happen. Mitchell can still win the district depending on if Springstead takes a loss to anybody else on the schedule. Remember, Springstead still has to play Sun Lake, and so does Mitchell. Mitchell both have to play Sun Lake, and Sun Lake still has to play Mitchell and Springstead. So a lot can happen, and that's not counting out Pasco and Land O'Lakes, but I definitely think Pasco and Land O'Lakes has a larger mountain to climb. Jesuit Jefferson. Dragons sitting 1-2 right now, 0-1 in the district. They just played a district game, first district game against Jesuit. Tough loss to Tech to start the season, 25-20 loss. Then a nice win against Sickles, 27-19. And then a hard loss last night to Jesuit, 44-23. We don't believe Jesuit is going to lose a regular season game this year. We think they'll roll through their district. They started off big, 44 points against Jefferson. The concern right now for the Dragons is that they allow way too many points. They can score. They've scored 70 overall. Divide that by 3 games. They can score points. However, when you allow right under 90 points, divide that by 3 games, and you're giving up roughly about 30 points a game to your opponents, that's not going to bode well for your district play and your playoff hopes. So Jefferson definitely has to tighten up on defense as they'll host Spoto, then Hillsborough, and then they travel to Newsom and then to Middleton. Now, I know you say, okay, they should beat Spoto. They'll have a dogfight with Hillsborough. And they should get beat Newsom and Middleton off athletes alone. However, don't think that. Middleton's a far better ball club. Newsom has always battled them toe-to-toe. Hillsborough would definitely give them a challenge. And Spoto, depending on which Spartan team shows up, this could be a really good game. So the next 4 games for Jefferson will be crucial. Let's go on to Sickles. Sickles win in overtime to Wiregrass. Defeated Wiregrass Ranch in overtime. Wiregrass Ranch decides to go for 2 while they're at home. Does not get it. I do not question the call by Mark Cantor. You have momentum. You're at home. You think you're possibly the better team, or you don't think you're the better team and you want to get the game over with. You go for 2 and you don't get it. So the message is no moral victories. You don't go in that locker room. Hopefully Coach Cantor did not go in that locker room and say, hey, boys, we played a good ball game. Let's get back going. We got another game to play, blah, 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 and all that crap. If Wiregrass Ranch wants to be a good ball club, they should expect to win games when it gets tight. They're going to have tight games. That's the nature of football. That's what happens when you play a good football team like Sickles. So when you're in those tight games, you have to make those tight plays to determine the difference in the ball game and make sure that you get the W on your column. Wiregrass Ranch is turning the corner. But in order to make a bigger turn, a more effective turn, have a larger impact in the area, they have to beat Sickles. They have to make the 1, 2, 3 different plays that will beat Sickles. They shouldn't even be mad. The coaching staff shouldn't even be mad. They use this as a learning tool to point out the mistakes to the players, which will lead to a win instead of the L. Sickles is a good ball club. Sickles coming up. Gaither, Lato, Plant, Wharton. In their district, they're sitting 1-0. Okay? Wiregrass Ranch now 0-1 because that was a district game. Overall, the Griffins are 2-1. Plant is 1-0 after they wally mopped on Lato. Sickles, right now, at the beginning of the season, we would have expected Sickles to be the district runner-up. However, Gaither is playing good ball. They're sitting overall at 2-2. Sickles is 2-1. Both of those ball clubs are 1-0 in the district, and Plant sitting up top 1-0 in the district, 3-0 overall. What's Wiregrass Ranch going to do? Wharton is sitting at 1-2. Wiregrass Ranch sitting at 1-2. Freedom, surprisingly, is 2-1, the dark horse in that district without a district game. So you still have a lot of ball game to play. A lot of season to play. A lot of district ball games to play, and a lot could happen in this 7A 8 district. Last but not least, we're going to Palmetto, going down to Manatee County. Palmetto sitting 4-1. Big win last night versus Sarasota. Defeated Sarasota 25-7. coming off a 32-16 win to Braddock. They beat Southeast 20-9. They battled toe-to-toe at Manatee, 7-3 loss. And they defeated Fort Myers in week 1, 20-14. Palmetto looking real good. And they're scoring and they're stopping people from scoring. All right, so 100 points scored so far on the season. 53 points they've allowed. They're sitting 1-0 in the district. Palmetto, a good scrappy ball club. I really like their head coach. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He coaches with a chip on his shoulder. He's a real impactful guy. Venice sitting at the top of that district at 1-0. Now, in that district, Venice, Braden River, Palmetto. Check this out. Venice, Braden River, both 3-0. Palmetto, Sarasota, both 3-1. All right, so you got a real good district in 7A11. Something's got to hit the fan. And at some point in time, Braden River has to see Palmetto. Matter of fact, let me pull up their schedule. Palmetto will play Braden River on the 21st of October, followed by Venice on the 28th of October. All right, so they've got a road ahead of them. October is tough for Palmetto, and we're going to see if the cream rises to the top. So at the end of October, that district is definitely going to shape up. Will Palmetto reign supreme in that district, or will they fall to runner-up? Braden River, and Venice, the likely favorites, but Palmetto definitely could throw the monkey wrench in there. Those are your knee-jerk reactions right off the wins and losses for teams from last night. Hopefully some guys are motivated. Hopefully some guys want to play another game. Hopefully some guys learn something from film session this morning with their team. You got another week of football. Rankings will drop next week. They were supposed to drop this week, but we lost a couple games. So we're going to wait until next week, get a good body of work, a good feel for our teams, and we'll drop the Sweet 16 rankings next week. Until then, be safe, work hard, ball out.